Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I will be bringing you a showcase about the endgame break effect build. Now, as many of you should know, that currently physical element is being the highest break damage element out of 7 elements, and quantum element is the second highest damage. And also quantum element can make a big action delay. And lastly, we have the imaginary element that will give an even bigger action delay, benefit from break effect build, and also apply Imprison, which will slow down the enemy. So I believe these 3 elements would benefit the most from using a break effect build, and that's why I'm doing a showcase for each of these 3 elements here. And before we start, I just want to show you that the gear I'm using for all 3 of these characters is going to be on the screen here, which is a full thief set, which give me 32% of break effect, and also the 2-piece break effect set here, which give me 16% plus 20% when I reach 145 speed or higher. And in the showcase video in later, I will be having 145 speed for all 3 of the characters. For the spear part, it's a little bit different because for each character I have a different element. And then finally, I'm going to use the same rope. My plus 15 means that break effect means that rope here. And as for the light cone, for Silver Wolf and Weld, I will be using this light cone, which will give me 32% extra break effect. For Susan, unfortunately, she don't have any light cone that give break effect. However, I have her at Eidolon 4, which will give me an extra 40% break effect. So their overall break effect stats will be very similar in a showcase video showing right now. Okay, so first off, we have Susan. And this is Memory of Chaos floor 9, the first half. Now, I'm running this team comp because both Pella and Silver Wolf can apply defend down, and their defend downs can be stackable over on top of each other. So that will make the most benefit from increasing the break effect damage after breaking. And also Silver Wolf is able to apply the physical weakness, which this boss does not have, so that my Susan can trigger the break. And now I'm going to apply both defend down on the boss, and also checking my stats on Susan in battle. You can see she has 235% break effect. And here I'm about to break the boss, and you can see all the defend down applied on the boss from both Silver Wolf and Pella. And here is the damage. $75k. That's almost 75k break damage. And you can see my skill is only doing 18k damage with this build. And the bleed is 53k for the first bleed. Now I'm gonna speed up the footage a little bit more to the second bleed to see the second bleed damage. And here we are, 48k. That is a 48k second bleed. Sorry for the bad Photoshop here, but as you can see, Susan did a total of 176k damage total from just triggering one break with the 2 supports that reduce the enemy defense. And she was able to take down this boss with just 1 break rotation by taking the 2 bleed damage. Next up, we have Silver Wolf for the quantum break. And as you can see, she is sitting at 223% break effect. And because I don't have to use Susan for the breaker, now I have 1 extra slot to slot in Weld for the extra damage received, so that she can do more damage from breaking. Now I have both Pella and Weld the damage down for the debuff. And you can see the break damage. There is almost 19k damage on break. And also the action value got reduced by a big amount. And now I'm gonna fast forward the clip a little bit to the point where I fully stack up the Entanglement debuff. And then by the time when the boss turns back up, we can see how many damage he's gonna take. And here once again, I'm going to show the stats that the boss, you can see the boss is being defended down by a lot of both Silver Wolf and Pillar. And my Silver Wolf breaking fast stats here. And here's the damage. Almost 135k damage right here on the explosion. So that makes a total of 153k, almost 154k from Quantum Break. Even though this does not kill the boss in one turn, but you can see this is still a lot of damage coming from Silver Wolf, who is just a support, but her damage is very compatible to a real DPS. And lastly, we have Welt, being the imaginary break here. An imaginary break is not about damage, but more about the action value delay and also the slow. You can see the action value delay here get delayed from 92 to 243. This is even a much bigger delay than Quantum Break, even though they are both the same break effect stat. And you can see how many turns I am able to move before the boss recover from the weakness break. And in order to help me with maximizing the turns I can get from this one break, I am using Asta, who is able to speed up my entire team from her ultimate, and also Danheng, who is also able to apply slow on the boss, which is stackable with Welt slow. Now unfortunately my Danheng is not Eidolon 6, meaning that his slow is only 12%, versus in Eidolon 6 you will have 20% slow total. But that doesn't really matter much here. And just so you know, I am not counting the ultimate use as one of the turns, because technically they are not really one turn. And if you have a very built Susang, who is a Eidolon 1 at least, you are able to replace her with Danheng here instead to do massive damage from her skill. So yeah, even though imaginary break is nothing about big damage number, but it's slow, and also that big action delay can be very interesting when you're trying to make a team comp. And as you can see, I am able to move a total of 19 turns here before the boss recover from its weakness break. So from all those showcase here, and also the 1.2 live stream, they show us Kafka, whose skill is able to pop the current DOT on the enemy and do not consume them. And bleed that caused by break is considered a DOT, meaning that Kafka might be able to pop that big chunk of bleed damage without consuming them, so then the enemy basically taking double the damage, both outside of their turns and during their turn when they are back up. And also for Luca, who is also coming up next, can pretty much do the same thing from his enhanced attack, and also his ultimate is able to increase the damage received, which can further increase the break damage as well as the DOT afterward. So I am seeing a new meta about to rise up when Kafka and Luca is gonna release in the future, that we are no longer bind with only direct damage DPS. Now we can actually go a full break effect build on your main DPS, who is in this case going to be Luca, be the main breaker, and have a full team of a DOT damage that does not rely on your attack stats, but instead rely on breaking the enemy and rely on the break effect stats. So an example here would be Luca being the main breaker and main DPS, and Kafka is going to be the sub DPS who is going to pop that bleed damage again, and Silver Wolf here to apply the defend down to further increase the break damage, and also apply the physical weakness if necessary. And lastly, we have a healer just to here to support your team stay alive. So let me know your thoughts. What do you think about this full break effect build in the future? Do you think it's going to be viable? Do you think it's going to replace the current meta and become the new meta? Let me know your thoughts, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.